Hello. Today, I am going to talk a little bit about version, the new inventory dimension Microsoft has included in the Wave 2 release of updates for Dynamics 365, Finance and Operations. Versions allow companies to maintain and track multiple versions of a product throughout the supply chain. Today, the cycle a product goes through is getting consistently shorter. New features are added all the time, and products are being constantly upgraded. Previously, an organization would retire older products when features were added or improved and create a brand new product to take its place. The new dimension simplifies and accelerates this process by allowing manufacturers to create a new version and creating the new variant combinations directly from the existing product. This simplifies the process as manufacturers don't have to create a brand new product from scratch. The version product dimension is similar to the other product dimensions such as size, color, style, and configuration. To set up and use this functionality, a product dimension group that includes version needs to be set up. You would do that in the usual location under Product Information Management, Setup, Dimension and Vary Groups, and Product Dimension Group. Here you can see that I have already created a product dimension group that uses version and color as the active dimensions for this product. The next step would be to create the versions that will be used to be assigned to the products. To set up versions, you would go to the same place where all the other product dimensions are under Product Information Management, Setup, Dimension and Vary Groups, and here's your dimensions. You can see the versions link right here. You go in, you can see that I've already created a list of versions that I'm going to use to assign to a product. Now, unlike with size, color, and style, which have color groups, size group, and style groups, no version group exists. The purpose of the groups is to predefine the values that can be applied so that when, for example, a color group is assigned to a product, the product can take on all the colors in that color group when I release the version, the variants. This idea does not make sense for version because the versions a product will take aren't set up at the beginning. You start with the first version. The versions are created during the life cycle of the product, and a new version will be created if it's considered needed, and then that's when they're applied to the new product. Note that usually is a change in version and not a new product if the form, fit, function, and the functionality of the product remain the same. Additionally, you can set up the product nomenclature to include the version so that it can be used when using the system to create the product variants. Just like before, this is done navigating to Product Information Management and set up product nomenclatures. And here you can see how now I have used name for the product master name and the version ID so that when I create the variants, the version ID will appear in the product name. So let's have a look at product I already created. Created these two products using the version color product dimension group that I created, that we configured. If I want to create new variants for this product, I'm going to go to product dimensions first and go to versions, and I'm going to add the new version of the product that I am going to release. Here's the list that we had pre-configured. And now if I go to create my product variants for this product, and I create my variant suggestions, I now have two new variant suggestions using the product name, the new version. You can see the version as in product dimension. Select these. I'm going to create this dimension, these variants right here. You can see them with a product name. I can now release the products to the company. These have already been released, so I'm not going to select. I'm going to leave the new variants that I created. We select the company I'm going to release them to. If I look at my release product variants where I didn't have these two before, now I'm going to have them right here. And just like with every other variant, now that I have them in my list of products, I can plan for them my item coverage. Just like with other variants, we can set up inventory level on a variant level so that if version 1 or 2 are no longer be used for planning, I can set it for only version 3, for example. Barcodes can be configured for each variant, so the right version will automatically be populated and if configured in this way. In terms of pricing, I can set up individual pricing per variant using trade agreements. So for example, if product version 1 and version 2 are now on clearance and we're going to remove them from inventory and we need them out, we can price them accordingly and create a new pricing for the new product version. In terms of on-hand inventory, I can use the product inventory dimension, the version dimension, and add them to my list so that I can actually use it to create my own hand lists. Dimensions will show now on the list of dimensions to include in your table. In terms of reports, because we can now keep track of different versions of one product, businesses can build reports to include all or exclude some versions depending on the reporting need. In these reports, they will have the benefit of seeing historical information for one product altogether. And that is a simple explanation of the new inventory product dimension called version that's included in the Wave 2 release for Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Thank you for listening.